Hello everyone, welcome back to the Book Corner. Hermione, author and lover of all things literature. So before I begin, I want to let everyone know that either I will be coughing, um, sorry, several times in this video, or I will be clearing my throat. I do apologize. I don't like it, and I'm the one doing it. So just a warning right off the bat. So I'm doing a review. I'm doing actually a video review to Bad Reviewer Claims Books Have Too Many Words by City Crusher. He did that a month ago. Now, this is the first video I've actually watched from him, and he makes a lot of really good, valid points about this YouTuber. So, one of the things that I really like about BookTube is that we do in fact meet a lot of really great booktubers. I don't consider myself to be that great of a booktuber. Yes, I got 150 subscribers, and yes, I'm very happy and blessed that you love my content. But I don't consider myself to be the best booktuber on YouTube, even though I have been on YouTube for as long as YouTube's been around. Yes, everyone wants to know, I am one of the earliest YouTubers. But anyways, so, you know, basically she was talking about, this woman who got on there and was like talking about like, why does this have so many words? What, all this type of stuff. And then another person said something, another person said something else. And so I'm just going to go on by his comments, which like I said, he made a lot of really good, valid points that as a woman, especially as a woman who who had a mother who was into like crime fiction or crime magazines. Though I will say, if anybody wants to know why she was into it, she actually had gone through the police academy, and she was actually trying to be a police officer. So for her, reading these magazines helped her to better understand some of the sickos that were out there in the world. My mother made it very clear, these people are dangerous. These people are you're not to be in that kind of relationship. And because I had watched shows that had these kinds of men in there doing all sorts of very bad things to women, I knew right off the bat that was not the kind of man I wanted in my life. So it isn't that I have a fetish for it. I actually have not read a crime magazine in 30 years. Well, actually 29, maybe 28 years. But anyways, the point is I haven't read one in a couple of decades. So when we go and have people that like these kinds of books, you really have to look at what kind of person they are. And this is the complaint I've got about when women criticize women's choices to buy certain kinds of books. I, for one, don't like bondage. That's why you'll never see me reading 50 Shades of Grey. I don't like any of that stuff. I don't like toxic relationships. I don't like any of the stuff that people think nowadays at this moment right now is sexy and romantic. Because trust me, when you're in that situation, when you're being tied down against your will and somebody is urinating on you, you're not going to think that it is sexy, but you could be, you could be that kind of person. I don't know. I have heard of like when women find out that who they're with has a certain kind of fetish, they walk out the door because that's not what they're into. But a lot of people that like these really horrible, bad books, they, I'm going to agree with him. They absolutely love this kind of behavior. They have not been, they have not been in a time period when this stuff was looked down upon. When this stuff was considered to be dangerous. I mean, literally being a woman, being kidnapped, and then being cut up while you're still alive. I mean, who would fantasize that kind of thing? Now, for the female authors who write it, I mean, they have a choice. They can write decent books, which they probably won't make money off of, because people like that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, people don't like that kind of stuff. Or they could write some of the sickest, disgusting, nastiest things ever, and they'll be on the New York Times bestseller. They'll have it made into a movie, all this stuff. But also publishing houses are very much at fault here. If they say to these authors, you're not writing this stuff, we're not going to have our publishing house linked to this stuff, then they would not write it. But nowadays you have women, and I will say this. Don't be skirting around it and not address it directly. Don't be going and being shocked that women are like this. And also, don't be blaming straight white women for this. Okay? Don't be thinking that, oh, they're a hidden misogynist because they write this stuff. There are women out there that like to be tied down. There are women out there that like to be whipped with whips and chains until they're bleeding. They like this stuff. This is a turn on for them. But if other women found out that they like this stuff, you're portraying hidden misogyny, because women, and I'm not offended by it. I mean, if that's what you like to do, fine, as long as you're entering this willingly. But when you have women who defy what feminists view women, or what women should be doing, or what women should not be liking, you are telling women who like this kind of stuff, you're not really a feminist because you like to be whipped, you like to be held down, you like a man peeing on you. But yet, these women will buy Colleen Hoover, these women will buy Rebecca Yarnos, these women will buy Sarah J. Maas, who I will say, they're saying Sarah J. Maas does romantasy a lot better than some authors, and I will agree with that wholeheartedly. I like her epic battles, I like her dialogue, things like that, because I'm a dialogue kind of person. But to criticize women for liking this stuff, for not admitting that there are women who are into this stuff, to criticize bad writing, is absolutely stupid. This is what sells books. This is what publishing houses have seen sells books. Their job as a publishing company is to make as much money as possible from these books. And if the books get made into movies, that is more power to not only them, but to the author. I personally don't understand the appeal of these books, except for Sarah J. Maas, because I like her writing style. But I will never blame men for it. I will never blame other women for it. These people have made a choice to do with their money how they want to do with their money. If they want to buy books that are badly written, then that's their right. However, their writing must have been pretty good for them to get that contract. Just saying. When I look at people's bookcases on YouTube, and I see they have Colleen Hoover. Okay? I don't care. I don't care that somebody likes Colleen Hoover or Rebecca Yarnos. I don't care. I don't go and waste my time doing a long video about how much these women throw us back 40 years. Pull us back into like the 60s or whatever. Now, I don't get why women don't like long conversations. I don't know why that's the case, but I mean, hey, you don't like them, you don't like them. But I also think that the biggest reason that we have such a downgrade in how long someone can hold their attention on anything in this world is because our brains have been destroyed literally by social media. But these authors who write these smutty, spicy books, they are writing them because there is a market for them. They're writing them because they know if they write them, they will sell them. And to get all mad and act like you don't understand anything about publishing, even basic knowledge of publishing, shows that you do not understand anything about the business. You just have a YouTube platform where you spew out your opinion. I have a YouTube platform, I spew out my opinion, but I do have basic knowledge of the publishing business. Traditional publishers, if there is a market for that kind of book, they will publish that kind of book. And you can go and bitch and complain about it all you fucking want, but as long as there's a market for that kind of book, there will be a desire for authors to write those kinds of books. We may not like them, we may wonder what the hell women are thinking, but also here's a piece of very good advice. If you have a woman who likes that kind of stuff and wants you to do it as a dude, you have the option of saying, no, I'm not doing it. But yeah. But it's amazing how women will blame everything else for how successful these books are. And never call out the people that are responsible for these books to come in existence. Oh, let's don't criticize women. Oh, let's don't criticize them. You know, they're totally sweet and innocent. Like, here's a prime example: is if you're a child molester and you're a woman, you're not shanked in prison, as far as I know of. But if you're a dude and do that to children, you're shanked in prison. I don't understand. And it's like you got people that are in authority criticizing what she did, but you got the lonely, low persons not criticizing you at all. So there's kind of a double standard here, where you have women who are into this kind of stuff, and authors write with that kind of stuff in it, and then you're shocked and upset that these books are making money. And then you go and say, you go and you try to make excuses as to why this is actually a thing. I don't understand at all. I don't. See, if you had basic, even a beginner's knowledge of publishing, you will realize the only reason that romantasy is as popular as it is now is because there is a giant section of the female population that likes this kind of stuff. They like poorly written books. They like books with a lot of smut, a lot of spice. They like this stuff. And as more and more people like it, publishers produce more and more of those books. Because there's a demand for it, so they have to have a supply. So demand, supply and demand. Back and forth. As long as there's a demand for it, there'll be a supply for it. Plain simple. So, yeah, I've been hearing rumors that Colleen Hoover is kind of retiring from publishing. But she's already made her money. She's already made her fortune. And, yeah. So, that's the thing. Is, let's stop blaming people for what women like. Let's be very honest as possible can be. The reason that women buy the books is because they like that kind of behavior in their relationship. Plain simple. They're drawn to that. It's something to do with the brain. Women are drawn and attracted to certain kind of men. They're drawn and attracted to certain kinds of situations. That is being a sexual being. Now, there are some women that are not drawn to that. And that's totally fine. But you're going to have plenty of women who are drawn to that. And going and blaming straight white guys for what women are consuming. There's no guy on the cover of those books. There's no legion of men that are writing about dragons and riders. It's women that are doing it. But you want to blame the men for what women like. Sorry, little people, that's not how it fucking works. If you got a woman who's into 17-year-old boys, don't be blaming white men for that. Don't be blaming them for it. So, there are Chinese women, there are black women, there are lesbians, there's bisexual women that like crime novels. That's why crime novels are making like James Patterson money. Because women and men of all stripes, of all sexual orientations and gender identities and all that type of stuff, they can't wait for James Patterson to bring out a new Alex Cross novel. Because Alex Cross is a popular character. But yeah. So, let's stop, like I said, let's stop blaming women. Let's stop blaming men and everybody else other than the people that consume it for why women can consume it. Alright, so I'm going to end it there, and I will see you guys around. Bye.